You know what that means. It's time for Title Talk with your host, Drew Wishover, entrepreneur, published author, and owner of Inspired Title Group, along with his co-host and director of operations, Amy Maley. Each week, the team will offer industry terminology, tips, and strategies, along with the occasional real estate professional to help educate as it pertains to buying, selling, or just plain old home ownership. We thank you for spending time with us today. Now, let's join this episode of Title Talk. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Title Talk 2.0. My name is Drew.
And my name is Allergies.
Amy is here with us today. Thank you guys for tuning in and being here with us today. Today, we are going to talk about scary, bad things.
Yeah, I feel like, this just keeps popping up everywhere in some sort of facet. I don't want to say the word yet because I want to keep you guys on your toes for a couple minutes.
On.
But, when we are talking about something scary, usually the big F word comes.
Ooh, the big F word.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's not the
Not the dirty one.
Not the bad one.
Fraud.
Fraud. So today we are going to take just a couple minutes out of your guys' day to discuss a little bit about what we're seeing in real estate and what fraud is.
I mean, if you think about it, we are one of the easier targets for people to prey on being a title company because, we hold all that money. There's a lot of money that moves to facilitate a real estate transaction.
So maybe just, can you give like a 10-second to 20-second synopsis of why we get all the money and why we're like an easy target?
Of course. When you guys go to buy a house, many people have a lender. And then what the lender does is they wire the money into the title company so that we can disperse, pay out from that transaction.
Mm-hmm.
We pay off your first loan. We pay off anything else that we need to that are, encumbering your
Right.
property.
Right.
And then there are the fees that the title company gets, the attorney fees, the fees that go to the realtors, commissions and things, and then obviously the mortgage company has their fees as well. So
Correct.
if you buy a house that's $300,000 or $400,000, it's not uncommon that we see that $300,000 or $400,000 come
Yep.
to our escrow accounts, and we then become responsible for it.
Right.
So that's where the fraud and the wire frauds take more of a precedence because of intercepting those wire instructions and things.
Absolutely. So it comes to us, we pay it to everybody. So at some point, we have a large amount of somebody's money in our bank account.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk about, I think six types of the most common fraud that we see in real estate.
Absolutely.
All right. Do you want to start with it?
Go ahead.
Wire fraud?
Yeah. Yeah, give it that one.
All right. So many different types of wire fraud that can occur in real estate. Mortgages, like Drew was talking about paying off mortgages. So a lot of times how this happens is somebody can intercept these things called wire instructions.
Right.
So we've had it happen once. I remember when Miguel went on like hyperspeed when this happened. So
for sure.
So we send these things called wire instructions to lenders, and what it does is gives our bank information.
Mm-hmm.
Gives you account number, routing number, all that fun stuff. We always send it encrypted to make sure that it doesn't get intercepted. But dude, these people are getting so smart that are
it's incredible.
Screwing with these. Messing with these wire instructions.
Legit.
So a lot of times what can happen is they can find our wire instructions, change one number in an account or in a routing number, and then send these to the clients. And then they would then be sending their money to the wrong account.
Yeah.
Literally, and we would never get it.
It is literally that simple. It's the ability of just intercepting those wire instructions and then taking them and altering them to make it go to their bank and make it look like it was our wire instructions that were sent to them.
So if you are not getting wire instructions directly from your title company, do not use them. And also, whenever you are wiring money, always call your title company first to confirm the wire instructions. You're taking an extra 20 seconds out of your day to save yourself $400,000 to $500,000.
Absolutely. I mean, you're the likelihood of, if it's been intercepted and taken, the likelihood of getting them back, slim to none.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's so once they've taken them and gotten them, it becomes a ridiculous exercise to get them back, and it doesn't typically work out positively. So the wire fraud scam is out there. So it's never a bad thing to call, confirm the wire instructions with your title company, making sure that they're aware of every aspect of where that money is coming from and going, and checking it. If they don't call you, or if they're giving you a hard time about it, that's usually that red flag.
Yes. Yeah, so do it every time. I actually think the guys kind of keep tabs on who they confirm wire instructions for, and are very leery of, any transaction that we are not verbally communicating with somebody, not emailing somebody, verbally communicate to get the wire instructions.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another scam that's out there is this foreclosure relief scam. This is sad because they are actually preying upon people who are in a difficult situation with their house. They are potentially looking at going through a foreclosure. If you guys are regular listeners of this show, you'll understand that we've talked a lot about that foreclosure process, and what it looks like, and when to get involved, when to get the professionals involved. And it is beneficial to get them involved sooner than later so we can work through this. But what these scams are is they'll call you up and say, hey, we're going to make sure that we get this foreclosure stopped. We're going to make sure that we get everything taken care of for you. We're working in your favor. Problem is they're not.
Pay an upfront fee, and we'll get the ball rolling for you. And then you pay the upfront fee, and then they ghost you.
They're gone. They pose themselves as realtors. They pose themselves as real estate professionals.
Correct.
And they can take care of this and make this go away. Again, folks, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yes.
These instances are a prime example of that. And why why are we talking about this, and why are we telling you about this, is because we're in this business. We see this, and we're hearing about this. And these are some things that our underwriter is obviously seeing in the industry, because realistically, the title companies, the whole real estate transaction is where most people can prey upon having success. So they're going to look at this and say, wow, I can do this. I can pose as a realtor, tell them that for $10,000, I'm going to get them off the hook, and you pay them $10,000 and you never see or hear of them again, and you have no way to get a hold of them.
Correct.
So again, be careful of these scams. Talk to a professional, somebody that's calling you out of the blue. Do your homework.
Yes.
Do your due diligence on that.
Hire a
sure.
detective. I'm
For
just kidding.
sure.
But Google and you might be able to find something.
Right on.
Another one that might be common is a loan flipping scam.
Mm-hmm.
So what this means is that you will get contacted. So you're allowed to refinance your house every 6 months.
Yep.
So people will be reaching out to you, some mystical person will be reaching out to you saying, let's refinance your house. I can make your monthly payments go down. And through all these fees, all this blah, blah, you're actually losing and more money than you would have if you just stayed with your initial mortgage payment.
Right.
So, a lot of people are talking right now about interest rates being around 7%. You're buying houses. Great, you can refi in 6 months, 8 months, and maybe interest rates will be around 5% at that point. That is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But when someone is saying, every 6 months on the dot, they're reaching out saying refi. I feel like a lot of times older people might be targeted for this because they have, have been in their house for so long, so they have a lot of equity in their house. Mm-hmm. But then they take out this mortgage and they're actually minimizing the equity in their house. If that makes any sense.
It's crazy that there's somebody that is actually thinking about these and out there working at these, and we talk about them because they're happening, right?
Correct.
Remember that the reason we're bringing these real estate scams to your attention is because they are happening. They're in our industry, and we've done this.
And like he said, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. So before you just make this, and this is another thing, they want you to make the decision fast.
Oh, sure.
Before you have the time to talk to somebody or get a second opinion or something. So anytime somebody is trying to make you make these important decisions quickly, make rash decisions, that's another reason that your brain should go, something's weird.
And we talk about this, just what we do here when a deal comes in. If it's somebody that we don't recognize and they're in a big hurry to get it done, and they want to just go ahead and don't worry about that and don't pay attention to this and this is no big deal, we immediately start to drag our feet.
Yes.
And really dig in and go, there's a reason. And you know what? Honestly, we've never been wrong.
Yes.
Honestly, it has truly been one of those situations where if they want to move fast through it, it's because they have something to hide, they're doing a trick, they're pulling a scam, and we sniff it out and we know it. And that's the luxury of being a smaller title company working with vendors and people in the industry that know us and know our clients and know the transactions. So realistically, it gives us this ability to have these conversations with you guys and bring some of this to your guys' attention. This one is interesting to me. I didn't know about this one, the rental scam.
Right.
This rental scam thing is, I'm going the wrong way because I want you guys to see them up there. They're right there. See them? Woo! Okay, rental.
Isn't this weird?
This is really bad. So, I mean, go ahead if you got something to say on
No,
this.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like this became a thing during COVID, probably more.
Totally.
So, like, with the internet becoming more of a resource for people to find a house to rent, an apartment, a condo. People will look at these beautiful pictures of these condos and say, "Oh my God, yes, this is $1,200 a month. Sign me up," without actually going there because during COVID you can't really have people walking through places because blah, and people are actually putting pictures of not.
They don't exist.
Yes.
They literally don't exist.
Yes. Of
These are
non-existent houses, condos,
Right.
apartments, etc.
So you're literally saying, hey, come buy this house that doesn't really exist, and these are none of the things that are in it. And it's, so there again, now you guys are seeking homes.
Oh God!
You said the same thing though, right? You went and you saw pictures online, and then you guys went to see the house, and it was almost
Dog
as if it was the
poo-poo.
same house.
Dog a poo poo.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is that French for dog poo?
Wee wee.
Français. Nice.
So now that COVID is kind of going bye-bye, and do your due diligence, my friends. If you are looking at a beautiful rental property, drive by it, maybe.
Yeah. Or
Make
send
sure it's
somebody.
there. See if there's a for rent sign in front of it. And sometimes it even happens where people will say like, "Oh yeah, this is an off listing or off market listing."
Right.
That's why you're not going to see any signs. That's why you're not going to see any pictures. But trust me, all you got to do is give me a $1,500 or $1,500 upfront for the first month, and then it's yours, and then it's not there, and then your money's gone.
And here again, there are a lot of folks out there that are buying houses as investments or buying rental properties, and they are from out of state. Find somebody in state that you trust that can actually go out and verify that this is legit. There's
Yeah,
something
that's-
really out there on
that's a
at
huge
that
one.
property.
Yeah,
right?
like people that are snowbirds. I know my
Yeah.
uncle and aunt just bought a house in Florida, and I was like, "You saw it, right?
Yep.
Like, you actually flew there and went and looked at his. Oh yeah. I went over there. I'm like, okay, good job.
Right. I mean,
Good job, Uncle Dan.
but there are people that are out there doing this, so
Yes.
you've got to be super careful through that process. And so that rental scam piece is legit. That's
Isn't it
happening.
crazy?
It is crazy. It is crazy.
And we've kind of touched on this last one, title or deed scams.
Mhm.
These are why, always keep an eye on your property. If you're getting
Yeah.
weird mail, if you see some bills that shouldn't come in your house that are not coming.
Have you seen the commercials? The title
Yes.
lock and all those
Yes.
things. Here again, I mean, I don't know that racket is making money, right? I mean, it's not. Amy and I could have thought that up and put a commercial out. And said,
Speaking, I have an
follow us
idea
out
for an
there.
app.
Great.
Stay tuned.
So we have an app idea, which we are going to, hopefully put into motion in 26, because it's going to take 2 years to build it.
It makes me just to think about it.
Well, it did. You have good ideas. So realistically, these protect your title, protect your this, protect your that, and home lock and home securities and all these different things, right? I'm telling you that the only way and the right way is to, when you buy your home, when you know that you've gotten the deed to that home, and there's a policy that is standing behind and ensuring that deed, ensuring that you own that property, it's really the only rightful way to know that you're the owner of this property. So there are people out there that can scam the title and the deeds. Remember, you can quit claim something to anybody, but if you don't own it, it doesn't matter. So they can show you a quit claim deed and say, look, I own your property. And you may fall prey to that,
Yes.
saying, oh, how did this happen? Well, they never owned it, so they couldn't do it. So it doesn't matter. It's wrong. And if you don't know that, get in touch with the professionals. Don't just get, sweet talked into all of these situations. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Verify. Just a simple phone call to your realtor, to title company, to us. We'll happily do it. Your attorneys will help you guys out. Just utilize the professionals. Watch out for the folks out on the street that are posing as professionals as well.
And speaking of reaching out to your professionals, right? Can you click to that next slide? And we're just going to touch on a couple things of how to avoid fraud, how to avoid scams. So like Drew was just talking about,
Wow. Okay, as she clears her nasal cavity, we kind of want to go through some of these ideas of how you can avoid some of these fraudulent things. Okay.
Licensed professionals is number one.
Big.
Like you were just talking about.
Big.
Talk to your realtor, talk to your lender, talk to a title company. Talk to people that you trust in this industry and say, so-and-so reached out about this, is it good or no?
Yeah.
And they will say yes or no. We will honestly tell you, hey, that actually sounds like it might be something, or like, run.
Right.
Run and never look back.
I mean, that is one of Amy's primary sources of what she does here is looks back at these titles and determining ownership. So a quick call to Amy to say, do I really own this? Because this guy's claiming he does, and absolutely can determine that with a not a lot of time.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
We're speaking in all kinds of different. She's speaking nasal right now, right? That's a different language, right? But so to her point, the licensed professionals absolutely, and then really keeping your information secure. There is a lot of information at closing that you guys get has your personal information out there. As far as the identity stuff, I'm telling you, your social security number is all over a lot of things. One of the things that it's on is the application, the 1003, right? The 1003 is your mortgage application where you tell your lender all about you, how much you've earned, what you make, who you owe, and it's got your social security number on it.
Yup.
Okay, now, we possess that. We have that, and we take tremendous care by putting that into our archived areas where people can't access it, and it's secured, and it is backed up every night, so we don't lose this data and this information. However, if you just take that package that you got from closing and you leave it out on your anywhere, or
what a guy!
Look at that, flying in from anywhere comes absolute Kleenex.
How do I blow my nose without?
Yeah, we put you on mute. So realistically, the people who take their time at putting their closing documents in a safe space, so it's not exposed to everybody and anybody kind of seeing it. And there's a lot of that going on. People digging through garbage cans, looking for banks, looking for receipts, looking for anything that has your personal information on there that they can go ahead and steal that.
And also something to think about. Get a file cabinet, a lock file for your house. I have a spot where I keep all of my important documents. Keep your stuff safe. Keep it together. Joe was trying to look for something for his car. I was like, did you check the file cabinet? We have a file cabinet?
Why would it be in there?
We have a file cabinet? That's what I got.
Look at that.
Where is it?
He obviously doesn't know you that well. The organizational skill set that you pose, must not be doing it at home very well.
Okay, next.
Next tactic.
Avoid upfront fees.
Yep.
What does this mean? Like we were talking about with that foreclosure thing. If somebody says, all you have to do is give us this fee of $10,000 and we will help you solve a problem, do not do it. There is very, very few people in real estate companies that will make you pay upfront before a closing, before a service. That is why we are still trying to track down some people for work we did, for attorneys' work we did, because you are very, very rarely going to pay upfront for anything real estate related. So if someone says something, run. And
to that same, last minute changes, right? Your closing, what the IDFPR has done to protecting, and really it's the consumer is so protected, okay? The CFPB, Consumer Fraudulent Protective Board, Bureau, I think it's Bureau, CFPB is working on the behalf of you guys as the consumer. The reason that we mentioned this be wary of last minute changes is because a few years back, they put this TRID rule in place that says that you as the consumer have to be notified and have to have time to have read your closing documents, know what you're doing, understand it, so things can't happen at the last minute. So last minute changes in today's world, something to raise an eyebrow about. If it's somebody's holding back some money because you're getting something fixed in the house. That's different.
Correct.
Okay? We're talking about last minute changes of all your figures changed on your closing statement, and now there's totally new fees, or there's ridiculous fees that have been added
Yes.
because they had to.
Well, and it's hard because like you're sitting at this closing table, right?
Mhm.
So like
Legit?
you don't want to say anything
Right.
to lose this deal, but like as a consumer, you have the right. If your numbers have changed $3,000 to $5,000, like
Yeah,
at
ask
the closing
questions.
table, ask why. You are
Yeah.
allowed to ask why. They're not just going to say, "Well, you're not buying this house then."
Yeah. I mean, your attorney is.
In
you
that
know,
voice, especially.
in that
No one's
voice
ever
is really, yeah.
talked.
But again, we're seeing, and it's kind of an interesting, but we're seeing a lot more people not wanting to have an attorney in on the transaction. That lends to some thoughts and questions from us as to what are they doing?
Yeah.
You know, so we are now challenging our clients, saying, look, we're not comfortable doing this deal. We'd like you to have an attorney represented because we can't speak. You know, we can't give
We
advice.
are not allowed to. Yeah.
We're not gonna sit here and
As a
give you
title
legal
company.
advice, it's not something that we're allowed to do. So if you ask us a question about, should I do this or shouldn't I do this, it's not our, we can't answer that question. We can't ask, we can tell you what that document is, and we can tell you to sign it, that's
Yep.
what we can do. But we cannot tell you whether you should or should not do it, can't give you any kind of professional advice, that's not what this is, that's where you need your attorneys. So, again, having an attorney in the transaction is important to the process. And, you know, if you have questions that can't be answered, or if there's last minute changes that can't be answered, guess what? That's probably something to raise an eyebrow on and be concerned about.
And lastly, avoid off-market transactions.
Totally.
This is a hard thing to avoid because a lot of times it sounds like such a good deal.
Yeah.
Once again, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. There's a lot of like
Wholesalers out there.
wholesalers,
Yeah.
these A to B, B to C transactions. It's the Wild West out here in the
It is.
Midwest. It's like,
It is.
some of these stories that we're hearing recently of like how people acquired property and
Sure.
how they're trying to sell it is crazy. So I'm gonna go back to number one. If you have an off-market thing, consult a real estate professional.
Absolutely.
See if this is something real that can actually be happening. Is a person that's selling this property to me, are they actually able to?
Yeah.
So just always do your due diligence and save yourself the aggravation.
And really, I think that last one that we speak of here, the off market, I think that more is going to be, the investors are going to be
Correct.
the people who are going to be coming to you now. An investor does not have to hold a real estate license. An investor could say, I have this off market property that I'd love to sell you. What it means by the terms off market means that it's not listed anywhere on the MLS. Okay? So allegedly, before he or she's gonna put this on the MLS, you wanna buy this at a discount. Because once they put it on the MLS, they're going to have to pay a realtor, so that immediately cuts into their pocket. So they're able to avoid, to share this with you at a reduced rate. Okay, so far so good. But do they own what they're selling?
Correct.
They may or may not. So it's possible that they own it and it's a legit, good for you deal. But how do you know? Just
This-
because they said it? No,
Always go to a title company.
right?
We will never let them say, give me 50 grand and I'm gonna quit claim this to you.
Right.
And it's yours.
Right? I'm telling you, it's crazy, but it's real and it's out there. And I see that now with more push into the market with AI and all that's bringing to this. I'm telling you that they're gonna have to put in some stop gaps to really protect this industry, which is right now the biggest money-moving industry around. There is nothing greater than real estate that is moving money back and forth in transactional type business. So we, as Inspired Title, we work very closely with our banks. We bank with our banks, meaning if it's their deal, we're putting it in their bank. It stays, it doesn't move, right?
We do.
And the result, we bank with our banks. So realistically, we try to establish relationships that transactions that they're doing, they know, they see. The money moves in between, it never leaves the bank, it just moves between accounts within the bank. So having those relationships is what also has been, helpful for us to kind of avoid some of these ridiculous things that happen out there. What else you got?
Nothing.
If anybody has any questions on that, really, bring that to
Yeah,
them, because
but
if you fall victim to these,
it's bad.
it's really
It's
tough to come
life-changing.
back.
Yeah.
It really is tough to come back, and coming to us after the fact
It's
when
a lot harder
it's
than
happened.
being proactive.
Yeah, can we still help? Sure, but it's going to be at a totally different look.
Yes.
Because now you're unraveling, and now we're trying to kind of rebuild versus prevent.
Correct.
I think we would rather be on the prevent side in the front part of this than we would be on the back side of this. And we've definitely got a lot of attorneys and relationships that we can
We do.
point to you and help with that. So hopefully you guys found this little piece valuable, as we kind of wanted to give you a little bit of the scams and things that are out there that we're seeing in the market.
Scams and all
Some
that
fraud
stuff.
fun. Why don't we tell them some good news? Let's tell them some good things. What's going on? What do you got?
I can't believe it's May.
It is May.
Is number
Middle
one of what's
of.
going on. It's dumb.
Yeah,
It
we're already
is
past the
dumb
middle
how
of May.
fast this year is going. But we do have some exciting stuff coming up. We are preparing for our Crohn's and Colitis Walk,
Crohn's and Colitis Walk coming up
which is
June.
in June. And then the following month we have our golf outing.
Golf outing.
The sign up is officially out for it. We currently have 4 groups signed up,
Sweet.
not including anybody in this office yet, which is
Sweet.
awesome. We have a couple whole sponsors, but we are still looking for more. So if you are a business out there and you want to, number one, you can buy a sign. Number two, if you buy a sign, you are able to just plop yourselves on a hole and meet a bunch of very cool people that will be at the
Absolutely.
outing and stuff.
Absolutely.
We are also accepting raffle donations, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. The Crohn's and Colitis Walk in June. We have our Inspired team is raising money. So you guys, if you can't come out and walk, certainly you can give to that on behalf of you guys or your organization. We'd love to see you guys out there. I think we've raised somewhere or just close to about $1,000 in the for the Inspired team, which is pretty awesome. I'm super happy about that. We're going to be out there walking, and Crohn's is obviously something that has hit my family. Not only my wife, but my son's wife also is battling with a irritable bowel disease. So it's something that is putting toward a good cause and hopefully helping people that in the future come up against this. They'll have different ways to kind of help people kind of cope with those things. It's really a sad thing, but it's certainly something that is near and dear to us. So if it's something you guys can spare some time and come out and walk with us, love to have you out there. Raise some money to bring out there with it, and if you just want to give, check out our. I think we've had it on our Facebook page. We've had it on
I
our
can
social
post it
media
again.
all over.
I'll reshare it. So
We'll
you
throw all
guys
that
want-
out there so you
yeah.
guys can see it again. And then I think we'll be on the horizon, be giving blood here soon. We're working on some of our next few give backs and what we're going to do. We're always actively looking for different opportunities to get ourselves out there in the community and serve the people and make a difference. I think it's this year has really been about making a difference, and I think this year has been really eye-opening for many of us in different facets of our lives where different things have gone on, and it's really given us that time to share that reality with you guys and kind of lean on you guys as our support team and support staff too, helping us out through some of these things too. So we appreciate and thank you guys for that.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got? Anything?
I think that's pretty much it.
Let's get them out of here then. Let's get 'em out of here.
Happy
Uh-oh.
birthday, Ryan!
Ryan,
That's another inspired
happy
May.
birthday,
Happy
yay.
birthday to
yay! Our crack producer Ryan is doing a great job back there. He look at that. He delivers Kleenex on the spot. Silently, Kleenex flies through the sky.
Nobody like the runny nose.
Nobody,
Someone-
nobody.
It was a perfect throw too.
It was.
It didn't
It was-
smack me in the face.
It was well done, well anticipated. So wish Ryan a happy birthday with us today. Send him some shouts. He is doing a great job there behind the scenes as we appreciate and need him every day as well. So you guys get out there and make a difference today in somebody's life, in somebody's
Enjoy
world.
the sun. It's beautiful out, right?
I just came back from Reno, and it was like 90 degrees and crazy. I come back and it's 60 degrees, and it's like, what is this? This is cold. But
It's May in Chicago.
happy to be back, get back in the swing, and enjoying the summer that is about to come. So you guys, we'll see you guys next week. Until next time, my name is Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are your Inspired Title team. Thank you guys for joining us. Take care, everybody. Well, there you have it. That is it for this week's edition of Title Talk. Be sure to head over to our Inspired YouTube page and subscribe and like. And make sure you follow the team on Instagram and Facebook. Join us again next time for more tips and knowledge from the industry pros. Thanks again for listening.